दूसरे पार्ट पे, दैट इज आर्टिकल राइटिंग। तो आर्टिकल राइटिंग में क्या है? सो फर्स्टली द स्टेप्स ऑफ आर्टिकल राइटिंग, there are four. पहला तो है what is your research question. So many a times I've seen people, okay, say for example you want to participate in a competition, I'd say an article writing competition. वहाँ पे एक ब्राइडर मतलब एक सॉरी एक काफी बड़ा स्कोप दे दिया है कि एनी सोशल लीगल इशू, यू हैव टू राइट एन आर्टिकल ऑन एनी सोशल लीगल इशू। अब सोशल लीगल इश्यूज तो कुछ भी हो सकते हैं, दे कैन बी मैरिटल रेप, दे कैन बी चाइल्ड अब्यूज, दे कैन बी एनीथिंग दैट इज लीगल एंड रिलेट्स टू सोसाइटी, अफेक्ट सोसाइटी, ठीक है? तो आप क्या लोगे? आप कौन सा क्वेश्चन चूज करोगे? ठीक है, आप किस टॉपिक पे आर्टिकल लिखना चाहते हो? फर्स्टली यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई दैट एंड दैट विल बी योर रिसर्च क्वेश्चन। अब वो आइडेंटिफाई करने के बाद यू नीड टू आइडेंटिफाई योर हेडिंग्स and subheadings. Headings and subheadings are very important in your research article because you know it kind of makes it easy for a reader to skim through your article. अब देखो एक आर्टिकल है जिसमें हेड सबहेडिंग्स नहीं दी गई है, ठीक है, बस ऊपर लिख दिया गया है हेडिंग दैट इज एज ए मैरिटल रेप एंड देयर इज नो सबहेडिंग्स, जस्ट एक मोनोटोनस आर्टिकल है। एंड ठीक है, देयर इज बाइफिकेशन की, हाँ मतलब ऑथर ने काफी सारी चीजें मेंशन की है, उसने केसेस मेंशन किए हैं, उसने कुछ रिसर्च मेंशन की है, उसने लॉज मेंशन किए हैं, उसने फॉरेन लॉज रेफर किया तो वो भी मेंशन किए हैं, बट उसने हेडिंग्स और सब हेडिंग्स नहीं डाली। इससे क्या होगा, जब एक रीडर एट अ फर्स्ट ग्लांस उस आर्टिकल को देखेगा, ही विल बी लाइक दिस इज वेरी मोनोटोनस, हाउ विल आई बी एबल टू रीड दिस? उसे इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं लगेगा, ना ही आपका आर्टिकल सुंदर लगेगा। You know what a person would only want to read something that pleases his eye as well. If your article doesn't pleases its the reader's eye, I'd say, then no one would want to read the research or your article. So you need to identify your headings and subheadings. Say you're writing an article on, okay, marital rape, since I'm talking of that, marital rape, तो आप पहले लिखोगे, ठीक है, you'll define marital rape. If there is any particular justice or there is any particular book that has quoted marital rape or has defined marital rape, you'll mention that in your first heading, that is what is marital rape. And if there are various authors who have given various meanings, or if there are various instances where marital rape has been defined by some or other eminent person, then you'll not just keep it as a subheading and write your first heading will be number one, and then you'll write what is marital rape, then 1.1 definition by say XYZ, then 1.2 definition by XYZ. Then you'll identify your second subheading, that is a situation of my say the second subheading might be laws relating to marital rape. Okay, so in that you can state, so you'll write a small brief paragraph about what you'll be talking on in the particular heading, and then आप subheadings डालोगे तो 2.1 जैसे आपका subheading हो गया. In that you'll write the reason no law relating to marital rape in USA. 2.2 में लिख दोगे in India, 2.3 में लिख दोगे say for example China, 2.4 England, okay, something like that. Then you'll your third heading will be that is situation of marital rape in India. तो आप इंडिया के बारे में लिखोगे. फोर्थ में अगर आपके पास कोई केस लॉज आप वो लिख दोगे, एंड योर लास्ट विल बी द कंक्लूजन. तो जब आप अपनी हेडिंग्स एंड सब हेडिंग्स आइडेंटिफाई कर लोगे आपके आर्टिकल में आपको क्या क्या चीजें बात करनी है, दैट विल मेक इट मच इजियर फॉर यू टू फाइंड ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक, टू डिग ऑन दैट पर्टिकुलर टॉपिक. Then once you have made your headings and subheadings, again you'll make a rough, that is you'll make a rough draft. And then when you're satisfied with your rough, that is you think that you have added everything in that, then you'll fill in the information. Then there's revision and editing. So once you have written the article and you think that okay, I've included everything in it, then one of the most important things that you need to do is revise and edit your article. अगर आप एक बार में ही लिख के सबमिट कर देते हो, ठीक है, मानो आपने जल्दी जल्दी में लिखा है, इट देयर माइट बी मेनी स्पेलिंग मिस्टेक्स, ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स, और हमेशा ऐसा लगता है ना कि आप कुछ ना कुछ ऐड कर देते हो. इवन जब आप एग्जाम देते हो आपको ऐसा नहीं लगता है कि अरे यार ये एक पॉइंट लिखना भूल गया यार, ये एक पॉइंट लिख देता तो और नंबर मिल जाते. तो वो एक पॉइंट भी ना छूटे, इसलिए यू नीड टू रिवाइज एंड एडिट टाइम एंड टाइम अगेन जब तक आप कर सको. Do fill your article with everything that you want, then read it. then revise your article, फिर आप जाओ वेब पे और चीजें पढ़ो उस सब्जेक्ट मैटर के बारे में, क्या पता आपको और भी कोई एक्स्ट्रा पॉइंट मिल जाए. Add it in your article, edit your article and make it the best as you can. Now, what to remember while writing article? First is the length of article. तो आप अगर कोई कंपटीशन में जाते हो तो लेंथ जनरली स्पेसिफाई कर दी जाती है कि ठीक है 3000 वर्ड से ज्यादा नहीं लिखना है या समथिंग लाइक दैट. बट व्हेन यू आर राइटिंग अ लीगल आर्टिकल, आई one normal general expectation is that you write at least a minimum of 1500 words. 1500 words is a good start. ठीक है, आपको एक मैक्सिमम लिमिट दी गई होगी, दैट इज समथिंग एल्स, बट स्टार्ट विद अ मिनिमम ऑफ 1500 वर्ड्स. अगर कहीं पे लिखा हुआ है कि 1500 वर्ड से कम लिखना है, then do take due diligence of that and write less than 1500. But अगर कहीं पे specify नहीं किया minimum number of words, then try to write at least 1500, because 1500 words I'd say is like what, six. At least write 1500 words, बिकॉज लगता है कि हाँ बंदे ने रिसर्च की है अपना आर्टिकल डालने से पहले. द सेकेंड इज लैंग्वेज एंड ग्रामर. Always make sure while writing your article that the grammar is correct. There is no spelling, punctuation error. There is no mistake in your sentence framing. Say you wrote the sentence, all these are considered the primary stages. ठीक है, all these are now all what are. अगर आपने इसके ऊपर कुछ mention नहीं किया, then the reader will be what all are considered primary stages of something. ठीक है, तो ऑलवेज दैट इज व्हाई रिवीजन एंड एडिटिंग इज आल्सो वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट, ताकि आपके जो ग्रामेटिकल एरर्स और जो लैंग्वेज एरर्स है वो आपको मिल जाते हैं. स्कैनेबिलिटी, दैट इज द थर्ड पॉइंट व्हिच आई हैव मेंशनड इन दिस पीपीटी. स्कैनेबिलिटी. स्कैनेबिलिटी क्या होता है कि बहुत बार लोगों के पास टाइम नहीं होता आपका पूरा आर्टिकल पढ़ने का. What they want is they want a gist of your article. They'll just skim through your article and read it. तो आपको अपना आर्टिकल ऐसे लिखना चाहिए जिससे इफ अ पर्सन इज इवन स्किमिंग, ही नोस कि आपके आर्टिकल में क्या क्या पॉइंट्स है. एंड that is why writing headings and subheadings is very important, because it gives you that scannability. तो अगर देखो, आज मुझे अगर आप में से किसी एक का आर्टिकल पढ़ना होगा, ठीक है, और मेरे पास ज्यादा टाइम नहीं है, जस्ट वांट टू रिव्यू द आर्टिकल, मैं बस ऊपर से नीचे उसको स्किम करूंगी, देखूंगी कि हेडिंग्स क्या है, सब हेडिंग्स क्या है. तो एक इंसान है जिसने लिखा है सब हेडिंग्स और सब हेडिंग्स के साथ, और दूसरे ने बिना हेडिंग और सब हेडिंग्स के साथ लिखा है. तो क्या होगा कि जिसने बिना हेडिंग्स और सब हेडिंग्स के साथ लिखा है, उसका आर्टिकल पढ़ने में मुझे बहुत I'll feel very lazy reading that, because यार मेरे पास टाइम नहीं है, एक तो आपने हेडिंग्स सब हेडिंग्स मेंशन नहीं किए, तो मुझे एक एक वर्ड लिटरली पढ़ना पड़ेगा ये समझने के लिए कि आपने अपने आर्टिकल में क्या क्या इंक्लूड किया, क्या क्या एक्सक्लूड कर दिया है. लेकिन on the other hand, the other person has included headings and subheadings. Okay, so I'll get to know each and everything that he has mentioned. Say he has written the heading of definition, then laws in India, then applicability of laws, then need for reforms, any topic that is, and he has included even case laws in that. So it will be easier for me to understand that what all this person has mentioned, and it will be easier for me to judge this. And even though the other articles जिसमें heading subheading नहीं हो, that might be very great, it might be written perfectly, लेकिन headings और subheadings ना होने के कारण, and since I would not have enough time to go through it, I'll not read it. लेकिन अगर वहीं पे headings और subheadings वाला article है, I'll definitely read it, because I'll feel like यार ये तो आसान है समझने में. The other points to remember are explaining legal jargons. So, okay, since you're all law students, definitely you'll use fancy legal terms and legal maxims in your articles. Say for example, you've used UB just EB remedium, ठीक है? So that is where there is law, there is remedy. अब आपका आर्टिकल कोई एक लेमैन पढ़ रहा है, ठीक है, someone who has no knowledge of law, or say someone who has just enrolled in law school and doesn't understand legal jargons. अब उसने देखा you be just EB remedium and you haven't explained that. Say for example, you haven't explained what is its meaning. That person will have to open Google or refer to books to find out the meaning of one particular phrase, and that is a time-taking process. So if you're using legal jargons, then please explain those, because you want your article to be understood even by layman. अब introduction and conclusion. Introduction और conclusion जो है, those are the two main points of your article. Introduction should be catchy enough to tell a story through an article, and the conclusion must give a whole gist of the article. So I've seen people, ठीक है, अगर आप thesis वगैरह लिख रहे हो then your introduction should be 6 to 10% of your whole thesis. तो आपने 60,000 word का लिखा है तो 6,000 word का introduction makes sense. But when you're writing an article, do not write an introduction that is very lengthy because it won't make any sense. अब introduction और body में difference ही नहीं रहेगा तो क्या फायदा? Your body in your article should be the most elaborated part, not the introduction and conclusion. I've seen people write introduction, दो pages का, and जो main body होती है वो बस होती है आधे पेज की or something like that. तो ऐसा भी नहीं करना है हमको. हमें सब कुछ इंट्रोडक्शन में नहीं भर देना, ना ही हमको सब कुछ कंक्लूजन में भर देना है. इंट्रोडक्शन और कंक्लूजन में बस रिलेवेंट चीजें डालो. जैसे आप टॉपिक को इंट्रोड्यूस करते हो तो नहीं बोलते हो कि जैसे अभी मैं सपोज वेबिनार अभी जो कर रही हूँ लीगल रिसर्च पे, तो मेरा इंट्रोडक्शन हो गया रिसर्च के बारे में, ठीक है, कि व्हाट इज रिसर्च एंड व्हाई डू यू डू रिसर्च. इतना इंट्रोडक्शन में काफी है. फिर बॉडी में जाएगा कि टाइप्स ऑफ रिसर्च क्या होते हैं, कौन सा रिसर्च कब यूज किया जाता है, और फिर कंक्लूजन कि इफ माय टॉपिक इज विच इज द बेस्ट मोड ऑफ रिसर्च. तो कंक्लूजन में जाएगा कि द ऑथर थिंक्स कि एज अ डॉक्ट्रिनल या नॉन डॉक्ट्रिनल जो भी आपको अच्छा लगे, दैट इज द बेस्ट मोड ऑफ कंक्लूजन, दैट इज द बेस्ट मोड ऑफ राइट रिसर्च. एंड फिर उसके बाद आप अपना वो पॉइंट को जस्टिफाई करोगे कि आपको क्यों लगता है ऐसा. ठीक है, तो इंट्रोडक्शन एंड कंक्लूजन, as the name suggests, it should only introduce and conclude the particular topic, not explain the whole topic in brief. So keep your introduction and conclusion short and simple. Then the last point to remember is ask the experts. Experts kaun hai? Experts are people from legal professional. It can be advocates, judges, your class teachers, your mentors, your deans. Even I'd say sometimes it can be your friends if you're doing non-doctrinal research. So ask them about the particular topic. Say you're writing the impact of CAA in India after 4 years or 5 years or whatever. Okay. So what you'll do, you'll ask the lawyers, ask the advocates, ask them कि आपको क्या लगता है कि इस लॉ के कारण क्या इम्पैक्ट हुआ है इंडिया पे, whether it has been a boon or a bane. Then ask someone who has been affected by CAA, or who has been a person, or who has who has a friend or relative who has been affected by CAA. उनके life पे क्या impact पड़ा, whether there were any negative impacts, whether there were any positive impacts. So asking experts, ये क्या करता है? It gives your article more clarity and makes it more reliable for people. अगर मैंने expert से कोई भी चीज पूछी है, then I can quote it. I can quote it in my article, and it makes my article 1,000 times better. So always try to ask your experts. If not anyone, then ask your teachers, because teachers are always ready to help their students. And once you show enthusiasm for something, they'll definitely help you. Up format of the article. One of the most important part, which most of the students, do not write properly, and जिसके कारण उनके marks भी कटते हैं, even if
Hello,
they have
ma'am.
written everything properly.
Hello, ma'am.
Hello.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I have written something
Yeah.
in the chat. Could you see?
Ratul, I'll please take the questions at the end of the session. It's just 2 more points, and I'll just answer that at the end, if that's okay with you.
Okay, fine.
Sure. Thank you so much. So we were talking of the format, right? So format. So मेरे हिसाब से what I think works best is writing first the abstract and introduction, then the body and content, the use of authorities, and conclusion. So abstract क्या होता है? Abstract is an abridgment, or I can say a summary of the longer publication. तो अब आप जो अपना पूरा आर्टिकल लिखते हो उसका जिस्ट दे देते हो आप एब्स्ट्रैक्ट में, ठीक है. So it usually goes that in this article the author or the writer considered the relevance of, I'd say what, family laws in India, ठीक है, and then this article will highlight XYZ issues of the family law or XYZ something. So that is an abstract. An abstract is like, it gives you a brief of what the author wants to say in the summary. It comes just below the title. So first you'll write the title and then you'll write the abstract. And then you'll write the introduction. So, many people, they, get confused between abstract and introduction. In law, abstract and introduction are two different things. Abstract तो हो गया आपका पूरा article का gist, okay? It is the gist of your whole article. And introduction introduces your article. It introduces what you want to talk about. Say you're writing about family law, then you'll write, you'll give some data and write the family laws are, the laws relating to laws governing, okay, the family related matters, including adoption, marriage, divorce, etc. That is something you'll write. Just like the third part is the body and the content of the article. So, the body and the content, it includes everything that you have analyzed and researched on. Right. So, say you have written, or you want to write about 5 to 6 family laws. Say you want to write Hindu Adoption and Maintenance Act, then Hindu Marriage Act. You want to write about even special, what is that, Special Marriage Act? Okay, you want to write about Muslim law. You want to write about the divorce. Then you'll just mention the headings of these, and then you'll fill your content in that. That is your main part of the article, that is the body and the content. इसी में और एक part आता है, the use of authorities. Now, use of authorities is very important when you're in law. Even when you're not in law, you need some proof that say for example, I'm claiming that the divorce laws in India or the rape laws in India are not up to the, I'd say, times. Say the rape laws in India are not are gender biased, they are only made for women, that is my topic. Then I need to show certain example or certain cases or certain situation whereby the male of the society have support because of this biased laws. Okay, so that is where the use of authorities come in. So use of authorities include, citing your book, citing various cases that have happened, citing, various, I'd say, research papers where any other person has also researched on a similar topic, and you find that okay, this is relevant to me, so I can quote it. So every legal article must be backed up by authorities to prove its validity. Okay, and these articles must be provided correctly and positioned appropriately. You cannot just put articles anywhere you want. You cannot just put cases anywhere you want. It should be in a format. Say your particular case is talking about a fake case that was registered by a woman of rape. Okay, you cannot put that where you're talking about real rape situations in India. That won't make any sense. So always use authorities at the correct place. Don't just put everything and anything you like in your article. Read the relevance of the particular case law, particular decision, and then write it. And the last part is conclusion. Conclusion is, after writing all your work, after doing all your research, you have written the abstract, introduction, body of the article, you have used authorities. Now you're coming to the conclusion. That is what you want to conclude from your article, or what you want to conclude from your paper. So while writing conclusion, always remember to have an ending, because if your article does not have an ending, it will just be an open-ended article. It will be open for interpretation. Okay, writing open-ended articles is good certain times when you do not have a particular ending in mind, but it is very important to write why you started the article and what do you want to conclude. So always have a conclusion in mind and see whether you wanted to conclude that, say the topic was given to everyone that rape laws are inadequate. Some have written that rape laws are adequate, and others have written rape laws are inadequate in India for now. So the ones who are writing that it is adequate, they need to write and conclude how do you think it is adequate, and the others have to write just opposite of that. So that must be there in your conclusion. Your conclusion must give the person an idea of why and what I have been doing something. Then फॉर्मेट तो हो गया. फॉर्मेटिंग क्या होती है? फॉर्मेटिंग इज हाउ यू राइट योर आर्टिकल, राइट? 4 points. There's one more point that I might have missed, but I'll just tell that to you. The first is body of the article and footnotes. So body, if unless anything contrary to this is mentioned, always write your body in Times New Roman and 12. Okay, and use double spacing. Footnotes must always be Times New Roman 10, single spacing. So what this does is, footnotes are very small, so single spacing is fine. Times New Roman 10 is fine, but body must be legible to people. So that is why Times New Roman is the most, I'd say, legible font. So use Times New Roman 12. Use proper citation and uniformity. Now, even if any one of you have ever went to moot court, I hope you all have. So in moot court, marks are cut for each and everything. In moot court, basically they tell you to use Times New Roman 12 and Times New Roman 10 for body and footnotes respectively. Apart from that, they tell you that you need to use a particular citation style. Sometimes it's ILI, sometimes it's SILC, and sometimes it's Harvard Blue Book. So use it. So if they have mentioned that use ILI citation, you only need to cite an ILI format. If you do anything to the contrary, your marks will be deducted. And if there is no uniformity, right? If sometimes your article is in center aligned, sometimes it's left aligned, sometimes it's right aligned, it's never justified, then it looks bad. It's not pleasing to the eye. Okay. Then margins and Roman numerals. Okay, always try to write an articles in margins. Now unless and until they have told you ki you do not have to use margins or do not have to use borders, then do not do that. But apart from that, use margin and Roman numerals, and lastly use page numbers.